Good evening and welcome. And for those of you who are alumni, welcome back to Eastern Connecticut State University and the 25th E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I am Scott Smith, chair of the E-Club Hall of Fame Committee, and on behalf of the committee, I would like to thank you for joining us as we honor and celebrate the history of the Eastern Connecticut Athletics program and also recognize the current student athletes and their outstanding accomplishments. Success, excellence, tradition. These are a few of the words that have come to define the athletic program here at Eastern Connecticut State University. And the Hall of Fame was established in 1986 to recognize the achievements and contributions of the dedicated athletes, coaches, and administrators who have made a profound impact on the athletic program. Through the continuing support of the university's administration, the Division of Student Affairs, the ECSU Foundation, and the Alumni Association, the Hall of Fame has had the privilege to honor 190 individuals with either Pioneer Award recognition, the presentation of the Michael A. Atkind Exceptional Service Award, or with the highest honor that may be bestowed upon any individual, induction into the E-Club Hall of Fame. Finally, I would once again like to thank all of you for spending your evening with us and for your ongoing support of the E-Club Hall of Fame and Eastern Athletics. And remember, once a warrior, always a warrior. Thank you. And now to kick off our 25th induction ceremony, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our mistress of ceremonies for this evening, Eastern Hall of Famer, Dr. Bonnie Edmondson.
Good afternoon. All right, this capacity crowd here, how exciting. It's always such a wonderful occasion to come back to Eastern and see former colleagues, friends, professors, coaches, and new folks as well. And happy 25th anniversary to the Hall of Fame. Wow, isn't that fabulous? It's just outstanding. You know, I had the distinct honor of working on the Hall of Fame when I was a student worker with Bob Malta. And that was in 1987, so it was the second induction ceremony. And gosh, 32 years ago, where's Bob? I don't know about you, Bob, but I don't think I've changed much. How about you? I think we're doing pretty darn well. What a great mentor Bob Malta is and continues to be to our student athletes. Yeah. In preparation for this evening, I met with Bob Malta and Scott Smith last week in the Hall of Fame room. And we took a moment and paused and just looked around. And I know Smitty offered you some numbers as to how many people have been honored. But we were just looking at the significance of what those folks really accomplished. Just, you know, athletically, as students, as incredible citizens. And boy, it is indeed humbling when you look around that room. And for folks in the front row here today, and for our student athletes and everyone, what you've contributed is certainly significant. So, you know, we've certainly established a legacy of high educational, athletic, and professional standards at Eastern, and the bar is set incredibly high for those who follow in the footsteps. So that legacy and spirit of sports shines brightly today as we are here to celebrate the accomplishments and service of these very talented individuals. Each honoree today has contributed to the legacy here at Eastern. Through teamwork, dedication, and commitment, they've excelled in athletics and in life and exhibit the qualities of true champions. Congratulations to all the honorees and their families, friends, coaches, and significant others who were instrumental in their success, and enjoy every minute of this evening. And now, to continue the tradition of welcoming the new inductees into the Hall of Fame, we will now have current members of the Hall of Fame and former award recipients in attendance to form a corridor along the middle aisle of the room so we can formally welcome our new Hall of Fame inductees and Atkin winners as part of our entrance ceremony. As I call their names and they move to form our entrance corridor, please welcome our current Hall of Fame members and Atkin Award winners who are with us this evening. And they are as follows: Michelle Cunningham Jost, Hall of Famer. Laura Fellows Butt, Atkin Award winner. Bill Holowati, Hall of Famer. Chris Mock, Hall of Famer. Pat Murphy, Hall of Famer. Joe Naratsky, Hall of Famer. Ron Pires, Hall of Famer. Beth Regan, Hall of Famer. Dean Cinto, Atkin Award winner. Joe Surface, Hall of Famer. Cynthia Waltz Washburn, Hall of Famer. Trenton White, Pioneer Award winner. And David Yo, Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. Okay, I have a thumbs up. Everybody's in place, right? Yeah. All right, excellent. First, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our Atkin Award winners. Ivan Maldonado being escorted by his wife, Elizabeth Maldonado. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pete Marcoux being escorted by his son, Richard Marcoux. You can go ahead. Yep. And now, the presentation of the 2018 Hall of Fame inductees. Please welcome 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Stephanie L. Altman Anderson, escorted by her presenter, Callie McRitchie. Please welcome 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Sarah A. Barber Grunfest, escorted by her presenter, Maureen Fahey. Please welcome 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Jennifer A. Butts Hounsell, escorted by her presenter, Michelle Cunningham Jost. Please welcome 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Scott W. Zerwinski, escorted by his presenter, Adam Zerwinski. Please welcome 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Edwin E. Ortiz, escorted by his presenter, Bill Geithner. Let's give the folks one more round of applause here. At this time, I would like to acknowledge and thank Mr. Al Morano for his musical entertainment as our official musician of Eastern's Athletic Hall of Fame. Al, we always look forward to having your musical entertainment and having you here. And Al's been with us for all 25 inductions, and tomorrow is his 82nd birthday. So it is now my pleasure to invite to the podium an integral member of Eastern's community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Faculty Emeritus, former Chair of the Hall of Fame member, Dr. David Yo, to offer the invocation. Dr. Yo?
Father Larry LaPointe, an integral member of this family for over 35 years, unable to be here this evening, and I'm happy to try to replace him. Let us be in a spirit of prayer. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we pause this evening to give great thanks for so many things, for the gifts of athleticism that enable superior performance, for families that have sacrificed and supported the athletes and who now can come together as a family to honor their achievement and dedication, for unselfish university personnel who constantly work to make competition possible. It is your generous gifts, O God, that are bestowed so freely, that have allowed the levels of excellence and achievement in so many arenas that we recognize tonight. Be with us now so that we feel your presence and your grace, and so that we feel deep and lasting gratitude for your care and your blessings. Bless this food now that we will partake so that we can be strengthened to be kind and to serve and to forgive and to love. Amen.
It's now my honor to introduce Interim Vice President for Student Affairs, Walter Diaz, to extend greetings. Welcome, Vice President Diaz.
Thank you, Bonnie. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of President Nunez, who was unable to attend this evening, I wish to extend a warm, warrior welcome to all of you as we come together to celebrate athletic excellence and all that is good about intercollegiate athletics at Eastern. This night would not be possible without the hard work and dedication of the Hall of Fame committee, and I wish to congratulate them for their diligence in selecting the award recipients and for seeing to every last detail that will make this evening memorable. Special thanks goes out to Scott Smith, class of 1992, for chairing the committee again this year. I want to thank Dr. David Yo for joining us this evening and for his sincere and prayerful invocation. Your words continue to lift us all, and we are grateful for your presence. And it's wonderful to recognize and thank our Mistress of Ceremonies, Dr. Bonnie Edmondson, class of 1987, who returned to that role this year after a one-year sabbatical, as we like to say in in academia. Bonnie is doing double duty for Eastern today, having represented President Nunez this morning at the inauguration of the new president of the University of Hartford. Bonnie, thank you for joining us this evening and for all you do to support your alma mater. And lastly, I wish to acknowledge and thank our Director of Athletics, Lori Runksmeyer, and our amazing team of coaches, administrators, trainers, and support staff. You are the backbone of what is consistently one of the most successful athletic programs in New England. Your work is an important part of what makes Eastern so unique, especially among public institutions. And I join with President Nunez in recognizing and thanking you for the dedication and commitment you bring to our athletics program and especially to our student athletes, many of them who are in attendance this evening. Now, last year was another strong and successful year for Eastern athletics, no matter how you look at it. This past year, our 17 varsity programs produced 1 first-team All-American, 4 Little East Conference championships, 8 Major League Little East Conference awards, and 14 All-New England athletes. And for the second consecutive year, we were awarded the LEC Commissioner's Cup for the best overall athletics program. In the classroom, our student athletes continue to distinguish themselves for their commitment to academic success. 98 of our students were awarded LEC All-Academic status, and we just barely missed winning the LEC President's Cup for the best overall academic year. Rest assured, we're going to get that award this year. Our Warriors also excel in the community. Every one of our varsity programs actively participates in service throughout the Willimantic area, supporting local organizations and families and individuals they serve. Our student athletes make us proud every day, and I want to recognize and thank all of them for all they do to make Eastern better. Please, all the athletes in attendance this evening, please stand up and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. I want to take a moment to recognize Dr. C. Robert Miller, head coach of women's basketball from 1974 to 1993, on his well-deserved induction into the Little East Conference Hall of Fame. In addition to his 332 wins over 19 seasons, Bob was a tireless advocate for gender equality in women's intercollegiate athletics and played a huge role in the development of women's sports at Eastern. Bob was unable to attend this evening, but our thoughts are with him, his wife Judy, and his family. I also want to take a moment to remember the career and legacy of Pioneer softball coach Clyde Washburn, who passed away in April. There's so much that he accomplished on his way to 4 national championships that it's impossible to sum up in just a few sentences. But we know that Clyde's legacy lives on, not only in the lives of the alumni who played for him, but for future student athletes who will play on the field that now bears his name and who will benefit from the endowment created to support our softball program. Cynthia, our thoughts are with you. We miss him. Today, we pay tribute to 2 individuals whose longtime support for our athletics program has merited selection as the recipients of the Michael A. Adkins Service Award. Peter Marcoux and Ivy Maldonado were a great team, and they worked tirelessly to make sure our fields were looking their best for every game. Their recognition tonight reminds us of the importance of our friends in the facilities department to the success of our athletics program. And I'm happy to see Pete and Ivan honored this evening. And finally, we recognize the achievements of 5 alumni whose accomplishments merit induction into Eastern's Athletics Hall of Fame. Stephanie Altman Anderson, Sarah Barbara Grunfuss, Jennifer Butts Honschel, Scott Serwinski, and Edward Ortiz were all outstanding athletes in their individual sports, and all brought great honor to the entire Eastern community. And they continue to represent everything that is best about Eastern athletics in their professional careers and among their own families. We are immensely proud of you and thankful that you chose Eastern as a stage for your athletic accomplishment and as the launch pad for your success in life. Your induction today brings the membership in the Hall of Fame to 138. And no one is more deserving to be in the select company than you. It is my hope that as members of the Hall of Fame, you inspire our student athletes for years to come. Tonight is a wonderful night to celebrate Eastern athletics, the lives and careers of those who brought honor to the university through their personal accomplishments, and the student athletes who are making Eastern history every day. I am honored to be with you this evening, and wishing you the best for the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Diaz. Next, I would like to invite to the podium our Director of Institutional Advancement, Mr. Joseph M. McGann. Welcome, Joe.
Thanks, Bonnie. First and foremost, I want to extend my sincere congratulations to Eastern's 25th Hall of Fame class. We have another stellar group of inductees, and I know this will be a day that they cherish for years to come. I think it's important that we recognize the fact that our athletic alumni support Eastern in many ways, not the least of which is with their philanthropy. We talk about the fact that our athletic alumni are typically a little more engaged in the life of the university than our non-athletic alumni. A prime example is what recently transpired with the Clyde Washburn Field dedication that Walter just referenced. Institutional Advancement worked closely with Lori and Cynthia and Diana in the athletics department starting in 2017 with a goal to raise over $100,000 to dedicate the field in Clyde's honor. A man who led the Warriors, as most of you know, to 4 national titles in softball, and of course a Hall of Famer. With contributions coming from softball and basketball alums, along with family and friends, the $100,000 mark was surpassed inside of 1 year. A significant accomplishment that speaks to Clyde's legacy as a coach and mentor. And I remember clearly a conversation I had with Clyde about a year ago as we talked periodically about some of his former players who we had not yet heard from in terms of the campaign. One was a former basketball player, and keep in mind now that Clyde, he also won 150 games as a hoop coach, by the name of Michael Spencer, class of 1977 out of Weaver High in Hartford. We were having trouble tracking Michael down, and Clyde said to me, he said, Joe, if you get a hold of him, he said, this is what I want you to tell him. He said, freshman year, camping trip, boonies of Eastern Connecticut, Riverside Park, pouring rain, thundering and lightning, in a pup tent. City kid becomes a man. So I said, Clyde, that's what you want? Yeah, that's what you tell him. If you get a hold of him, just tell him that. So, fortunately, about 10 days later, we got a hold of Michael. He'd been lost for decades. He was happy to hear from the university, obviously, thrilled to hear that Clyde was going to be recognized. And I read back the quote to him, and it got real quiet. In fact, I thought he might have left the room. I was like, Michael, you still there? He said, yeah. He said, I got to be honest. He said, I have absolutely no, that was so not in my conscience. I hadn't thought about that camping trip in years. But he said, if that's what Clyde said, then that's what happened. Fast forward to last month, and Michael Spencer was one of the speakers at the Washburn dedication. I think it was September 15th, right on the beautiful morning on the field. He made a significant pledge to the campaign, a 5-year pledge. And he was truly honored to be asked to speak at Clyde's dedication ceremony. He was eloquent with his comments about Clyde, and he made a point of telling me he'd be back soon. He was walking around with a smile on his face, talking to former hoop players, reconnected with the Washburn family. In fact, met Cynthia, I think, for the first time. He was thrilled. Bottom line, Michael was happy to be back in the fold. In fact, I think at one point he said, I want to come back and play some golf. And I said, well, I can hook you up with the current hoop coach, Bill Geithner. What I didn't tell him is that he might be going back to Maryland with no money in his pocket. I didn't tell him that. Of course, his only regret that day was that he wasn't able to hug Clyde and tell him how much the man had impacted his life. As most of you know, Clyde died of cancer in April before we could pull off the dedication ceremony. So in the end, we have many alums just like Michael Spencer. They're appreciative, reflective, and grateful to have been part of the Eastern athletic family. They know that their coaches and teammates have impacted them in ways that are oftentimes difficult to express. Eastern Warriors support this wonderful university with their time, talent, and treasure. And if you think about Clyde's anecdote that I shared with Michael Spencer, it wasn't about a win over Western or Southern. It wasn't about one of Michael's 20-point, 10-rebound performances that he wanted me to share. It was a camping trip freshman year. For Clyde, it was about maturing and growing as a human being. That was his message. Thankfully, we have many outstanding coaches at Eastern today who love to win. Our coaches are as competitive as anybody. That's why we dominate the LEC academically and athletically. But like Clyde, our coaches understand the big picture. It's those coaches sitting here tonight who impact our athletic alumni in such a powerful way. And those alums, in turn, show their gratitude by supporting this great university. That's what the Eastern Warrior fraternity is all about. Let's keep that momentum going. So again, congratulations to Stephanie and Sarah, Jennifer, Scott, and Edwin, this year's class of Hall of Fame inductees. Go Warriors.
Thank you, Joe. So at this time, I would like to recognize the founders of the Hall of Fame, just two of them, they're very special folks, Joe Naratsky, Dr. Joe Naratsky, and Coach Bill Holowati. Could you just wave in the audience here? These folks are unbelievable in their dedication and commitment to the Hall of Fame. And before we begin the celebration of our honorees this evening, I would like to recognize and showcase a very special group of individuals. Through the generosity of institutional advancement, thank you very much, we have in attendance our student athletes representing 15 intercollegiate athletic teams at Eastern. The spirit of the Hall of Fame is to recognize extraordinary accomplishments of outstanding role models. It's also about paving the way for others and cultivating opportunities for future student athletes. We're so pleased you are here to represent your respective teammates, and as I call your names, please stand and remain standing to be recognized. From baseball, senior from Portland, Connecticut, Cole Orgozalak, right? Is Cole here? All right. All right. Men's basketball, senior from Hartford, Jason Nunez. Women's basketball, senior from Stanford, Kelsey Santagata. Men's cross country, senior from Manchester, Ryan Adams. Women's cross country, senior from Bristol, Haley Knox. Field hockey, junior from Trumbull, Amy Smith. Men's lacrosse, senior from Brookfield, Jesse Bartko. Women's lacrosse, sophomore from Homedale, New Jersey, Sarah Farag. Men's soccer, junior from Wellington, Jackson Toomey. Jackson, okay. Women's soccer, senior from Mystic, Allie Clark. Softball, junior from Cheshire, Megan Hodgson. Swimming, senior from Torrington, Jessica Beelfield. Men's and women's track and field, senior from Southington, Raquel Romano, and senior from Columbia, Brianna Starkey. And finally, volleyball, senior from Woodstock, Jackie Orlowski. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to our athletes. Thank you. And, you know, just to think about it and the power and the dynamic of folks that have established a legacy at Eastern through their sports and their communities, and what an opportunity for our current athletes to really make those connections and networks. So I challenge each and every one of us, former and current athletes and award winners, to meet at least one person that you hadn't met before and make that connection, because it is tremendous to have those role models. So it's now my pleasure to introduce and invite Eastern Connecticut State University Director of Athletics, Lori Runksmeyer, to join me in presenting the 2017-2018 Major Athletic Awards to student athletes. Welcome, Lori. So the athletic department's major award winners, several of these awards were given out earlier last spring. And so I'd like to just formally acknowledge them in the presence of the attendees today. And then I will, we have some athletes here that will actually come up and get their awards as well. So the following students have already previously received their awards last spring and include in the Francis E. Geisler Male Sportsperson of the Year, it's presented to a senior for team spirit, sportsmanship, integrity, and dedication. The winner was Cooper Goslin from cross country and track and field. The next award was the, gee, I know this person. The Bonnie J. Edmondson Female Sportsperson of the Year, presented to a senior for team spirit, sportsmanship, integrity, and dedication. The winner was Alex Kalgren from field hockey. The next award that was handed out this past spring was the Morale Service Award in honor of former athletic department student workers and brothers John, Tim, Brian, Patrick Morale for industriousness and long-term service to the department. The winner was Michael Lamatha, who is an administrative assistant for women's basketball. And the final award that was given out last spring was the Faculty Athletic Representative Team Academic Award. The winner for this past year was the women's cross-country team, and it's presented to this program for the 6th time in the 22-year history of the award. The team also became the first Eastern men's or women's team to win the Little East Conference Championship last fall, and I understand they have a huge meet next weekend, right, Kathy? Good luck to you. So let's give them a round of applause. So the next awards are, we'll have our athletes come up and receive them. We have, the first award is the Team Sport Female Rookie of the Year. And the winner is Morgan Baldock from softball. And as Morgan is coming up and making her way to the podium, she's a freshman from Vernon. And a little bit about Morgan. She was the Little East Conference Rookie of the Year, first team all Little East as a pitcher. She led Eastern in every pitching category and led the team in batting average and in 3 additional categories. Congratulations. The male team sport athlete of the year is not able to be with us today, and he has a darn good excuse for that. He is overseas playing basketball in Ireland. So that's pretty cool. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about him. Tarchie Brown, from basketball senior from Rockville. He was a first team All-American in program history. Wow. First New England Player of the Year in program history, Little East Conference Player of the Year, and set the program career record with 1,959 career points. Holy mackerel. Congratulations, Tarchie. The The next award is the Individual Sport Rookie of the Year. And this award goes to Megan Lasso. Megan was in women's swimming. She's a freshman from Orange, Connecticut. She's the first Eastern swimmer to win a major Little East Conference season-ending major award when she was named Little East Conference Rookie of the Year. She won, yes, hang on, I'm not done. Your awards go on, you know. Okay. She won the 400 individual medley at the NEISDA, the NISDA Championships, becoming the only the second Eastern freshman ever to win an event at NISDA. She's a 6-time All-NISDA in 3 individual events and with 3 relays. She led the team at NISDA with 84 points in her 3 individual events. Congratulations, Megan. The next award is the Team Sport Female Athlete of the Year. The winner is Mackenzie Raimondo. Mackenzie's on the soccer team. She's a senior from Portland. She was named to the All-East Little Conference team for the 4th straight season, named to All Little East team first team for the 3rd straight year, equaling the program record for first team selections. She started all possible 73 matches in her career and finished in a tie for 9th all-time in program history with 18 assists. Well done, Mackenzie. The next award is the Individual Sport Athlete of the Year. And the winner for that is Samantha McCoskey. Samantha is a member of the women's cross country and track and field team. She's a junior from Deep River, Connecticut. She finished 12th individually in helping the team win its first Little East Conference cross country championship. She became the program's first All-New England Alliance Little East champion in the outdoor 1,500 meters. She broke her own program record in the outdoor 1,500 with a 14th place finish in New England Division III championships, and became the program's first individual to win the Little East Indoor Mile, doing it in a program record time. Congratulations, Samantha. And our final award this evening for our current athletes is the Team Sport Male Rookie of the Year. And that award goes to Anthony Stiegler. Anthony's on the baseball team. He's a freshman from Mansfield. He's a 3-time Little East Conference Rookie of the Year. Started all 41 games in the outfield for a team which reached Little East Tournament Championship round. Tied for second on the team with 7 multiple RBI games, and he's tied for third on the team with 11 multiple hit games. Congratulations, Anthony. Well done. One final round of applause for all of our athletes. At this time, it's my pleasure to invite back to the podium the chair of the Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Scott Smith, to present the prestigious Michael A. Atkin Award.
One of the most important components that have gone into creating the tradition of excellence within the Eastern Athletic Program have been the people who have given their time and talents in ways that may go unnoticed to the casual observer. It is these individuals who may or may not have a direct connection to the university or any athletic program who consistently go above and beyond in their effort to provide support, knowledge, and the all-important "I'll do whatever you need" work ethic, which is essential to run a successful athletic program. To honor these individuals, the Hall of Fame committee established the Michael A. Atkind Exceptional Service Award, which by definition is presented to an individual demonstrating a standard of loyalty and commitment to the Eastern Connecticut athletic program as exemplified by Michael Atkind. Michael was a longtime university volunteer who assisted with numerous E-Club projects and with supervision and care of baseball's alumni field until his untimely passing on August 7th, 1991. This year, we are pleased to have two recipients who have combined for over 46 years of service to the Eastern Facilities Department. For most of their careers, they were directly responsible for the day-to-day field maintenance needs of all on and off-campus athletic and recreational facilities, including some areas within the sports center. Eastern Connecticut was widely known to have some of the finest and best-kept athletic facilities in the Northeast region, and a lot of that reputation was thanks to the cooperative efforts, attention to detail, and most importantly, the individual TLC each of our two recipients provided to each venue. No matter what the weather conditions are forecast, preseason, regular season, or NCAA tournament game, coaches and student athletes could always count on their fields and facilities to be in pristine condition, with every little detail taken care of by game time. It is for these efforts and their longtime dedication and support of our athletic programs that we are honoring both of these individuals this evening. On behalf of the Hall of Fame committee, it is my pleasure to present the 2018 Michael A. Atkind Exceptional Service Award to Ivan Maldonado and Pete Marcoux.
I'm not much of a speaking person, but I want to thank my family that's here. Back in here. Especially my partner, Pete Marcoux, Coach Holloway, which he inducted me into his family because, you know, as much as we argue and we did what we did, he was the best balls that I ever had. Smitty and Bob Malta and my whole family, my kids are here. I want to thank everybody who inducted us into this. I never thought that this would ever happen, but thank you very much for everything. He's my partner. Thank his family, because that was my second family when we were working together. This man right here was my second father, right here. Thank you, guys.
I really don't know what to say because Ivan said it all, but this has got me. Smitty put me on a spot here, but what I would like to say about the ball fields and the softball field and all the athletic fields at Easton is that from the 1980s to the 90s, we had the greatest teams that Easton ever had: softball, baseball, soccer. And we maintained those fields. We took a lot of pride. Ivan and I took a lot of pride to take care of those fields. And, you know, it made you feel good when you had all these championship games. And we even entertained a Division III World Series over here at Easton. And so it's quite an honor to say that we had a lot to say about those fields. It was great. And all I have to say is I'd like to thank everybody that made this award possible for me and Ivan, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Congratulations once again, Peter and Ivan. So well deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin the presentation of the 2018 Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Hall of Fame inductees.
Four-year letter winner Stephanie L. Altman Anderson is one of only two players in the 23-year history of the women's lacrosse program to score as many as 200 career goals. Stephanie started all possible 62 matches in her career and left the program as its first 200-goal scorer and its all-time leader in points after connecting for at least one goal in 58 matches, including the last 32 of her career. As a junior, Stephanie ranked second nationally with an average of 5.50 goals per match. That is 66 goals in only 12 matches. And as a senior, ranked 8th nationally in points per match and was named New England Alliance Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Stephanie culminated her 4-year career by becoming the first player in program history to be named to the prestigious IWLCA North-South Farewell Lacrosse Festival, which features the top Division III players in the country in a national all-star game.
Hi, my name is Callie McRitchie, and it is a pleasure for me to speak on behalf of my former teammate and classmate, Stephanie Altman Anderson. Before coming to Eastern, Stephanie and I were epic rivals in high school, Stephanie at Norwich Free Academy, and I at Summers. She was an athlete everyone wanted on their team. She was always a difficult defensive assignment for most, if not all, of her opponents. A major scoring threat and intimidating in the crease, she was a skilled competitor. Steph was a powerhouse on the field, a well-rounded and versatile contender. Much to our surprise, we both chose to be Eastern Warriors in the fall of 1997. After being high school rivals, we were unavoidably going to be teammates. At last, I didn't have to worry about guarding Stephanie in her unstoppable shot. We were finally rooting for the same team. No longer rivals, we were teammates, housemates, classmates, and friends. Throughout her career, Stephanie consistently played with composure and intensity. As a first-rate student athlete, she was a leader both on and off the field. She challenged and encouraged her peers with positivity and respect lacrosse season after lacrosse season. Loyal to her coach, her teammates, and school, she made winning an attitude. Stephanie was always a major scoring threat and intimidating to her opponents. She had extraordinary ability to draw the ball to herself, initiating countless fast breaks and scoring situations. Her shot was powerful with accuracy, consistency, and speed. Applying cutthroat tenacity, she was also quick on ground balls. I speak from experience. Steph was an unselfish player. She worked hard and smart for 60 minutes. She capitalized on her adversary's weakness, creating and assisting scoring opportunities for her teammates. She found great reward in her teammates' successes as much her own. She always practiced like she played. That same spirit, drive, intensity, and passion that first appeared over 20 years ago on the high school lacrosse field have carried through to her post-collegiate life. Steph is in constant pursuit of her goals, both personal and professional. She is dedicated to her family and to her job as a social worker. Steph is well deserving of this recognition. I am proud to call her my teammate and my friends. Congratulations on another milestone in your lacrosse career. I am honored and excited to be a part of your special day.
Being a freshman on a team with a bunch of us who have been playing together for 2-3 years together, she was one who was able to come on and sit back and learn from us. She still was one to score those goals, but she was able to learn from us and grow from that.
When Stephanie came in as a freshman, our team was really young. There were people on our team who did not know how to play, but they were great athletes. So to have Stephanie come in and have played in high school and know what she's doing and be just ready to play was amazing. There were upperclassmen who weren't as knowledgeable of the game as she was, and they would look to her as to what they should be doing on the field.
And I think as she grew through the years, she was able to learn from some of us defensively and offensively about the game. And I know by the time she became a junior and senior, she became a powerhouse with scoring many goals, I think over 200 in her entire career, which is amazing. And I think a lot of that drew from the fact that she was able to have a strong core when she came in. She was quiet. She learned the game from us. We learned from her as well. And she was able to take that, and by the time she was a junior, still use that knowledge and become a powerhouse with scoring many goals each year.
I think Stephanie was such a great offensive player because she was so versatile, because she wasn't just offense. You could give her the ball and she could get down and get it in the goal, but she could also fall back and help you with defense and be a feeder on a wing. I think that because she was able to do so many different things, that made her such a great player.
And it was great to see Stephanie grow and the team grow. I think having us go from a 4-8 season my junior year to losing our first game and winning 13 in a row, we finally became this team that people were starting to notice, and this team that people may have wanted to come to Eastern to play for. And Stephanie coming now into her sophomore year, I was keeping in touch with the team and watching games and following how they were doing. I was pleasantly surprised to see Stephanie continue to score so many goals each year.
Stephanie was a great scorer, and defending against her was difficult because she was so explosive on the field. She would be, you'd think she was just kind of playing around and going kind of slow, and you didn't really know what she would do, and then all of a sudden she would be past you. She would just take off and you were wondering where the heck she went. But that kind of explosiveness and her decision-making, split second on the field, was really important to her game.
Stephanie became a junior and senior. She became that person. She was the quiet, smart player. She was the player at finesse, and you could see that almost every game, I think, in her junior and senior year, she was almost scoring at least one, if not multiple goals, and that helped lead the team to the many great things that they were able to do in her last couple years here at Eastern.
Stephanie was a leader by example and a leader in her knowledge of the game. She would not tell you you're doing something wrong, but she would point out a better way. And she would do it in a fun way. She was never mean. She was a little bit goofy sometimes, and that was fun. That's why we all played. She was fun on the field and fun off the field.
At this time, it is my great honor to present as a 2018 E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Stephanie L. Altman Anderson.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium inductee Stephanie Altman Anderson, presented by former Eastern teammate Callie McRitchie.
Thank you. So first and foremost, I would like to thank Eastern and the E-Club for recognizing me for this honor, to my family for being here, and most certainly to my good friend, Callie, for being here as my supporter and presenter. When I chose Eastern as my college, I already knew Callie, as she noted, as my competitor from an opposing high school team. We were rivals and did not like each other, to say the least. We were both approached by a member of the men's team here at Eastern to come and play here and help build up the women's program. And although Callie and I were annoyed to play for the same team and not amused to discover we would be sharing field space, we decided to suck it up and give it a try. 21 years later, We have been teammates, housemates, close friends. I've taken vacations to visit her when she moved out of state, and she was in my wedding. These are some of the fondest memories I have. This is the gifts I have from playing lacrosse here at Eastern. Beyond the accolades, there was a sense of community here at Eastern that I have cherished. When I chose to come here to Eastern, I was offered a partial scholarship at a Division I university. Financially, my family and I made the decision that Eastern would be a better fit. And I came here for my freshman year. And I was told that after that year, if I did well, that university would offer me a full scholarship. Well, I did do well my freshman year. I did very well. And the team did well as well. The women had a standout year. But in that year, I made friends, I established relationships, and I built a sense of belonging that I chose not to leave. I have never regretted that decision one day. Many of the women I play lacrosse with, I remain in touch with to this day. I would do anything for these women were they just to ask. That is what sports offers to athletes, a sense of belonging, a sense of camaraderie, and it can create lasting, enduring friendships that go beyond the field. This is what women's lacrosse program and ECSU have given to me, and I am forever grateful for that. Thank you to Eastern for that experience, for the opportunity to excel on and off the field, and for this honor. Thank you.
The discussion of the most dominant, distant freestylers in the 22-year history of the women's swimming program should be a brief one, and should begin and end with the name Sarah A. Barber Grundfast, who earned regional competition and recognition in each of her 3 specialty events in each of her 4 years. In the 500, 1,000, and 1,650-yard freestyle events, the 2-time team captain won a total of 8 NESDA and 4 Little East Conference individual championships. Her program distance records remained intact well over a decade later. As a freshman, Sarah broke a program record a total of 20 times and was named Eastern's Female Rookie of the Year. That season, she also became only the 2nd Eastern swimmer to compete in the ECAC Open, qualifying in 3 events. She is the only Eastern swimmer to date to earn points in that meet. A 4-time team MVP, Sarah capped a celebrated career when she was presented with the Kay Frommer Award in 2008 for having accumulated the most career points among swimmers that year in the NESDA meet.
Hi, I am Maureen Fahey, head swim coach. I'm thrilled to be here talking to you about Sarah's 2018 induction into the E-Club Hall of Fame. For those of you who know of Sarah's collegiate swimming accomplishments, this honor comes as no surprise. She came to campus as a freshman in 2004, and the rest was history. There was no adjustment period. In Sarah's freshman year alone, she broke 6 school records a total of 18 times. I credit Sarah for putting our distance program on the map. For 4 years, Sarah dominated the 500, the 1,000, and the 1,650 freestyle events in our conference and in the New England Championship meet. Her school records now stand as the oldest on our record board. I still have coaches advising their athletes to stick with the Eastern girl. They always produce great distance swimmers. Thanks, Sarah, for that. Sarah worked very hard for that, however. As most of you know, swimming involves repetition, and for distance swimmers, you can multiply that by 2 or 3. She was a machine. Let's say you ran a marathon. If you were anything like me, towards the end of the race, your pace will get slower and slower. Not so for Sarah. I wasn't surprised when she would negative split some of her races, meaning she would come back faster than she went out. Sarah would practice sometimes up to 4 hours a day, doing pace set after pace set, never wavering, always willing to put the effort, and with a smile on her face. She readily sought out feedback and actively listened to coaching staff. There were times when I wondered why I was even keeping splits, because each 50 or 100 split was within 1/10 of a second of the other. A 4-year recipient of the team's Most Valuable Swimmer Award, Sarah's leadership also extended outside of the pool. A 2-year captain, she would regularly be found helping her teammates academically, athletically, and personally. The team was like her family. She led by example and was quick to volunteer. Sarah often finished her races well ahead of others, and shortly thereafter would still be in the pool cheering on a teammate or another competitor as they were finishing their races. Sarah remains humble about her accomplishment, and once a warrior, always a warrior. To this day, Sarah often texts me after a big meet with a "great job, coach, so and so did awesome." I always pass along the congratulations to my athletes, and when they ask, "Who is that?" I say it's a Sarah on the record board. Please join me in honoring Sarah's hard work, dedication, and passion for swimming. Congratulations, Sarah, and all of tonight's inductees.
As an age group swimmer, she was in 8 and unders when I was in the more senior group, but I remember her coming into practice every day, and I remember how good she was, even as a little kid.
While swimming on the silver fins with Sarah, you could see the potential that she had in her swimming abilities of where she could go. She was still placing high up in her age groups, doing very well, and that just excelled when she came to Eastern.
Sarah was one of the first swimmers that I recruited once I left Eastern and came back as an assistant coach. And just having lived in Meriden and having been living back in Meriden, I kept seeing her name in the newspaper, and I knew that she was having a really great senior year. And so as we were looking for athletes to recruit, I mentioned her to Maureen and said, it might be worth going to talk to her. She might be willing to look at Eastern as an option, knowing that at that point a few Meriden swimmers had come through the program.
When Sarah came in as a freshman, she was probably one of the first swimmers that came in as a club swimmer and a high school swimmer that was definitely ready to compete at such a high level.
I knew Sarah from club swimming prior to coming to Eastern. We swam for the Meriden Silverfins together. She was always someone to look up to while swimming there. She was a positive role model, hard worker. Just those are the type of things that I remember from club swimming.
I think she really did become acclimated very quickly. She came in and she was ready to swim. She was ready to be a good teammate and to show what she was capable of doing. And very soon within practicing and trying her out in different places, we found very quickly that distance was what suited her the best.
Sarah had an excellent work ethic. She would be able to just kick things into another gear, seemingly out of nowhere, because she had this inner drive.
Not just a great athlete, a hard worker, and dedicated to swimming. She was a great teammate. She was supportive, motivating. I swam in the same lane as her. She was the lane leader. She set the tone for how that workout was going to be. And she always did a really good job of that.
Yeah, her consistency in practice, I don't think, has been truly duplicated since. She'd get more yardage done in the same amount of time that the other sprint practices or stroke practices were getting done, but she could sit and do 30 100s and replicate the same time over and over and over again with very little rest. And that's not something that's typical.
At this time, it is my pleasure to present for induction into the E-Club Hall of Fame, Sarah A. Barbara Grunfast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium, inductee Sarah Grunfast, presented by former coach Maureen Banquet. Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you. First, I would just like to thank Eastern Athletics and the E-Club Hall of Fame Committee for your decision to induct me. This is truly an incredible honor and privilege to be joining such an outstanding group of individuals. I started swimming at a very young age. It was more of a survival skill as my family was always around water. But swimming became more than just that. Throughout my course of my swimming career, I've watched many people come and go, give up. And one of the reasons why I swam was just really simple. I just couldn't give up on myself and or my family for the dedication.
The sport of swimming is really complex. It's a team sport, but also an individual sport. If we mess up, it's just only on us and nobody else. It's physically challenging and mentally challenging, and I just held on to swimming because no matter how far it broke me down on the pool deck, I just kept going. It made me stronger. Swimming planted a strong desire in me to lower the number on the board, as you can tell, 20 times as a freshman. And I just feel like that's what makes us true athletes. It's the relentless and determined attitude that we always strive to be better. I couldn't stand up here tonight and thank everyone who's played a role to get me here, but I just want to recognize a few of those individuals. My parents, Brian and Laura, for the countless hours spent by the pool. You guys were there from daily drives to and from practices, to long weekends at the pool, because distance swimming is never held in the middle, it's always at the end. Nobody wants to stick around for it. You both have just been with me every step of the way, and I can't recall a dual meet or a championship meet where you guys weren't there in the stands. Thank you. To my Meriden Silver Fins coaches, Ed, Eileen is in the crowd here tonight, and Danny Barolero, just for teaching me the fundamentals of the sport. Just to get to my career records and individual records, they just taught me that the meaning of hard work and dedication that has stuck with me. I would especially like to thank Danny for those countless 25-yard no breathers over and over until I completed one of them. It was just the courage to keep me going through tough events, and the skills, just along with the love and support my family, have carried me along the way. To Coach Fahey, thank you for taking a chance on me. You had faith in me not only to provide depth for the team, but also to excel in my college studies. Thank you for pushing me in and out of the pool, as we all know how your dry lands go in Florida. Those practices pushed me to my limits to perform on the biggest stages, LECs, New Englands, and especially ECACs. For that, I am forever grateful, as I did sell my soul to Maureen Fahey. I would also like to thank my assistant coaches, Amy Golis and CB, for helping and guiding me throughout my collegiate experience, and my teammates who have become family, that allowed me to shine throughout my career. And lastly, I'd like to thank my husband, Eric, who I met on a pool deck one day during cold winter intercession meet. You've been with me every step of the way, even though Coach did try to push you away during a phone conversation at New England's. You have encouraged me to become a better person and always to pursue my dreams, both in sports and my career. Being a part of Eastern Swim Program has had a significant influence on my life, as it has shaped me into the person I am today. I will always cherish those memories, teammates, and friends I've made throughout the years. I just want to leave this behind. It goes for any athlete. Always remember, somewhere behind the athlete you've become and the hours of practice and the coaches who have pushed you is a little girl who fell in love with the water. Thank you.
Jennifer A. Butts Houndshell combined God-given athletic gifts with a fierce work ethic to attain All-New England status in two distinctly different sports. The athletic 6-footer earned All-New England honors as a junior right-side hitter in volleyball, and in track and field gained All-New England recognition both indoors and outdoors in the shot. Jen was a 4-year regular in the lineup in volleyball and was part of teams which qualified on an at-large basis for 3 NCAA tournaments and which won 3 straight Little East playoff titles, being named tournament MVP as a sophomore. She remains the program's all-time leader in block assists and is second in total blocks. As a junior in volleyball, Jen was named to the AVCA All-New England Region team and was a second-team All-New England pick by NUVA and earned all Little East Conference honors for the first of 2 times in her career. At the time of graduation, Jen had the second best distance in program history in the hammer, weight, and shot.
Hello, my name is Michelle Cunningham-Jost. It is my pleasure to speak on behalf of Jennifer Butts Hounshell. The saying goes that some people come into our lives and we know we will never be able to replace them if they left. Jen is one of those irreplaceable people. We met more than 22 years ago, and if you ask me what I had for breakfast yesterday, I may not be able to tell you, but I can remember meeting Jen Butts. We came from similar volleyball backgrounds, where you left everything on the court, you play hard or go home, and we connected both on and off the court. She was a talented volleyball player, and by the end of her career, became one of the best volleyball players in program history, for this one reason. She has a drive and determination to be the best in everything she does. She puts in countless hours not only on the court, but in the weight room. She had the intestinal fortitude to bounce back from numerous injuries sustained over the years, and once she achieved her goals, she set new ones. Practice was always competitive. Well, let's be honest, everything with Jen was competitive. Jen quickly made a name for herself as one of Eastern's premier volleyball players. She was part of the last recruiting class of Coach Crabtree, initially recruited as a middle hitter. So during our preseason, little did she know she would have the tryout to play right side opposite the setter, which if by chance the setter actually played any kind of defense, the other right side player would step in and become the setter. And who knew the 6-foot middle with the ginormal hands could actually set? So she became the new right side player. Back in the day, we called that position the weak side hitter. But trust me, there was nothing weak about Jen. In fact, her debut as a right side hitter was against Springfield College, one of our biggest rivals at the time. And I can assure you they did not see Jen coming. And I truly believe that she was a key in that win, as well as so many other wins during the next 4 years of her career. Not many teams at that time had a strong right side hitter, so most teams focused on blocking the outside or the middles. They had no clue how to stop Jen. Looking back, I think I set Jen probably 90% of the time on that inside shoot because during those 2 rotations, she was unstoppable. This wasn't an easy task to run a fast offense. It took everyone on the court doing their jobs, passing the ball on the dime to a setter, the setter delivering a hittable ball, and the hitter remembering to be in the right place at the right time to be able to run all the crazy plays we had worked on in practice. We put a lot of work into perfecting our serve-receive rotations and free ball plays. And Jen, being the perfectionist that she is, she made a few of us, i.e. me, stay after practice most days until she felt comfortable running those plays. That's how Jen rolled. If she wasn't comfortable, we ran the play over and over and over and over again. But I tell you, it was a lot of fun being able to watch her go up and pound the ball down for a point. Or if by chance the set was a little short, she would just hit it with her left hand. One of Jen's secret weapons, she had the gift of being ambidextrous. She played sports righty and did everything else lefty until she was forced to use her left hand. And she could hit the ball just as hard with her left hand, and then she would politely ask me to push the ball out a little further.
My recollection from Jen is, seeing her being a tall athlete, competitive, and wanting to win, wanting her team to win, wanting to help her teammates play better and do better and win as a team, not just one person winning.
She was an impact player as a freshman because of her high level of athleticism and sort of her drive with which she worked all the time.
She came in right away with really long arms and being tall, and if you know volleyball, that's a great thing to have. We used to make fun of the size of her hands, and on a personal note, I remember seeing a picture of her oldest daughter when she was born and just commenting, look at the size of those hands.
To me, Jennifer is an amazing athlete because her tenacity and sort of the spirit with which she approaches playing sports is always at a very intensely high level.
It wasn't just her height. She could move, she could play back row, she loved the game and definitely invested time into being a good athlete. A lot of people who are good in the front row or have blocking records usually don't have any other stats for digging or defense, and she has that. So as far as volleyball is concerned, I think that she was a well-rounded athlete.
She was always pushing herself to get better no matter what it was. So she was always learning. She would take feedback and get better with those things. She'd make adjustments. She would try to learn because she's very intelligent.
Her athleticism was at a very high caliber. And then her will to sort of master all of the skills that she needed to master to be at the collegiate level. So there was just a lot of really good stuff to work with.
One of my favorite stories about Jen as a volleyball player is when she came in as a freshman. She came off the bench. We were playing Springfield College. within a few minutes of being in the game, she blocked the All-American player that played for Springfield. I mean, she roofed her right to the ground. And I remember being on the court and just like being so excited, like oh my gosh, you just roofed her. And Jen turned around and was like, what? You know, like, what just happened? Why are you guys so excited? Yeah, I blocked somebody. That's just what I do.
This All-American had tried to hit on her and she solo blocked her. And it was like an unbelievable play. And I ran to her and sort of, shouted all these profanities that I won't repeat on camera.
Jen definitely is a free spirit. She has always been that way as far as I known her. I mean, I just remember her laugh. Her laugh even on the court. She, it's not that she wasn't serious, but she had fun, and it showed.
Jen was easy to like and easy to respect because she wasn't that. She wanted to really play defense at a high level and would sacrifice her body on the floor.
She wasn't all about the stats or whatever her stature as a volleyball player. I think she just played the game and played the game hard.
She just was this sponge that just wanted to eat it all up.
Her goal wasn't to be in the Hall of Fame. Her goal wasn't to roof that All-American. Her goal was just to be the best she could. And to be a part of our team, which was really great.
She was seemingly a big player who could do all the little things, which I adore, of course.
Hi Jennifer, this is Coach Derek Yush. I'm really sorry I can't be here for your special day today, but I wanted to extend my sincere congratulations to you on getting into the ECSU Athletics Hall of Fame. You've always been so energetic and so hardworking, and I just want you to know that I'm truly enjoyed coaching you. Again, congratulations. This is well-deserved. I'm very proud of you. Remember, you will always be my first best athlete.
It's not surprising that people didn't know some of the things that she was really good at because she didn't want to talk about herself a lot, and she still doesn't.
At this time, it is my pleasure to present for induction to the E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame, Jennifer A. Butts Hounshell.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Jennifer A. Butts Hounshell, presented by Michelle Cunningham-Jost. A fellow thrower.
So I held it together this whole, no, you need to stay for a second, because if you noticed, I am second in track and field, and that is because I've chased your name for too many years. You probably didn't know that coming here tonight, and I'm glad you stayed up here because I was going to go grab you at the table before I even started.
Congratulations. So, very proud.
She's a hard one to follow. I didn't prepare a speech because it's way too easy to talk about my career here at Eastern. Thank you, everybody, so much for this incredible honor. And Derek made me cry. He wasn't supposed to be up there. Whew. Let's shake that off. To start, of course, I need to thank my parents because they were my chauffeur, my cheerleaders, my everything. I missed family functions. I missed everything in life just to play a sport. No matter what I wanted to do, they supported me, and it was always volleyball. I didn't start throwing until I got here to Eastern. I threw shot in high school. Then I came here and learned what the hammer was. And then I learned what the indoor throw was, and I fell in love. My wrist surgery took me out of my junior year. My knee surgery took me out of my senior year. So Bonnie, I would have caught you. Just so you know. I know. It's too bad. Cunningham was absolutely right. I have a competitive fire in me that just never dies no matter how old I get. Hopefully I'll pass it on to my two little ones that are not so little. And yes, I have ginormous hands. I've only met two gentlemen with bigger hands than me, and one was 6'7", one was 6'11". So it fared well coming here to Eastern. The other person I want to thank is Pinky Crabtree, who couldn't be here. I was her last recruit ever. She found me and was relentless in her pursuit. I can identify with the women who came before me tonight in that I had scholarships elsewhere. And it's hard to give that up and come to a Division III college when they're offering you so much. Pinky offered me more. She showed me the ranks and brought me into a team before even coming here, and I fell in love. So here I am. I would have never expected to be at this podium, so it's an honor. The other people I need to thank are Michelle Cunningham, Sweet, Ellie, my teammates that are here. I could not even remotely come close to any accomplishments without them. This woman right here is already in the Hall of Fame. She's the reason I got the amount of serves and passes and dives and just bruises and brokenness and ice and hell. Sorry, can I say that right now? And drive and fire and passion. And I lived with Karen Sweet, who, you think I'm competitive. You haven't met Karen Sweet. She is a light and a kind human and kind spirit that will scream at you when you need it. And she will hug you when you're broken. And Ellie came after me. She is one of the few after me that I got to play with that had the light and fire as well. My God, you were fast. She could get to any ball in the back row. It was ridiculous. Thanks. You were very thankful to her because the rest of us weren't so great. But I would like to thank all of them. And then, of course, to Derek Yash, who is not here. That man, I can't thank enough. He's become a great friend. He was my coach for only 1 year. I threw for 1 year here. And the amount of weight that I pushed in the weight room and my squats of 405 that I still brag about at the gym today because I can't do that. But he pushed me in a way I didn't know my body was capable of. So I did 2 opposite sports. One was an individual, one was team, and it played a mental game on me. But I am so thankful because I still talk about Eastern every single day. And every week at least, because now I'm a therapist, so I get to use all these fun stories. And thanks to all of you, I have this. And I'm so thankful to be here. Thank you.
Scott W. Sawinski was at his best when the stakes were the highest, pitching the Warriors to the 1998 National Championship by winning 2 games in the national tournament. The 6'4", 200-pound righty gave up only 3 earned runs and 9 hits, 8 of them singles, in 13 national tournament innings in 1998, winning the opener and also the finale. During the 1998 National Championship season, Scott won a staff-high 8 of 9 decisions with a 2.97 ERA and 45 strikeouts in a staff-leading 70 innings, despite nursing a groin pull throughout the Northern season. Scott's 20th career win came in early April of his senior season and made him only the 8th pitcher in program history to attain that milestone, one of only 12 current 20-game winners in program history. In his career, Scott won 21 games and lost 7 with a 4.32 ERA, 172 strikeouts in 219 innings, and left the program ranked 4th in starts and 5th in innings.
Hello, my name is Adam Serwinski. As Scott's brother, friend, fellow teammate, and Eastern alumni, I'm truly honored to have the opportunity to speak about my brother. 2 things come to mind when I think about Scott and his athletic career. The first is what an outstanding athlete he has always been. He was a 3-sport star at Summers High School who could have played any of those sports at the collegiate level. He was an all-state basketball player who scored over 1,200 points and was 2nd in the state in scoring as a senior. Scott always was a naturally gifted athlete. However, we know that ability only takes you so far. What's really special about this honor is that it's the culmination of years of hard work and dedication, the countless hours he spent practicing growing up. I think about my father, who would catch both of us without gear as we practiced, and the physical abuse he endured when we weren't so accurate. All the travel games and camps that went into where he is today, tonight is a reflection of that sacrifice. Secondly, Scott is a proven winner. At every level and in everything that he has done, he won at the Little League level, and he also won 2 high school state championships in basketball. Of course, he played a significant role in helping the 1998 baseball program bring home its 3rd national championship. To be one of only 12 pitchers in program history to amass 20 or more career victories is a great feat. A lifelong friend of ours sums Scott up best when he talks about his buddy. He says he's the type of guy that drives you crazy. No matter what it is, golf, ping pong, darts, you name it, he'll go out there without practice and he'll beat you. And the worst part of it all is he's going to tell you all about it. Perhaps the most special aspect of this celebration is that the appreciation goes both ways. Scott helped Eastern Athletics and the baseball program accomplish some great success. And in return, Eastern Connecticut and head coach Bill Holowati helped Scott in life. Scott watched and learned how to build and run a successful program. As a high school coach, Scott has had a major impact on the lives of so many that played and coached under him. He has taught them the values that we learned and practiced: family, loyalty, competitiveness, and work ethic. It's a great example of paying it forward. It is with great pleasure and pride, along with being a terrific son, husband, father, uncle, and of course brother, I can now add that Hall of Famer. Congratulations, Scott.
Well, I went up and watched him play basketball, and when I was recruiting any ball player, I always liked to watch him play other sports and see how he responded, reacted to teammates and everything else. And I watched Summer's basketball team play high school, and his team was outstanding.
I had seen him play baseball in Legion for a couple years, where he played first base a lot and pitched, and I was just surprised that we were looking for a competitive pitcher. We needed pitchers, and he's exactly the kind of guy we wanted to get.
He had a very good slider. He had great presence on the mound, and very good fielding pitcher. He was an athlete.
Scott just wanted the ball, and when he had the ball, we knew what we were going to get. He would compete.
And when you have a outstanding team, you certainly have to have some outstanding players, and he certainly was one of our outstanding players.
He could set up hitters. He could look at the scouting report and get an idea, understand what the defense was doing behind him, and he could execute more of a game plan as he got older. Coach Holowati would get on him quite a bit, and Scott knew how to take it. Coach Holowati's goal was to get the best out of Scott in every situation, and so Scott didn't listen to how he said things. It was more like what he said.
You know, we had an outstanding 1998 team, of course, winning a national championship, and he was a key part of that team. His year that year, he was a junior eligibility-wise, and he really stepped forward. He set the tone, and he won the first game in that tournament in Salem, Virginia, and then he pitched the last game. And he was the attitude pitcher.
We knew Scott Serwinski would get the ball in that final game if we lost to Cortland. And on the field, after that Cortland game, we were all talking, and Scott had had a little bit of groin injury after his start against Wisconsin Oshkosh in the first game of the World Series. And so there was a little concern whether he would be ready, but he said right to us there would be no excuses. He had an opportunity to bring us a national championship, and he was going to go out there and do that.
Scott certainly controlled his emotions. He could focus. He had a presence, and he had a confidence that made him a very good pitcher.
It is my honor at this time to present for induction into the 2018 E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame, Scott W. Serwinski.
Please welcome to the podium, Scott W. Serwinski, presented by brother and former teammate Adam Serwinski. Congratulations.
I hope no one's hungry, because I'm just going to break down the entire championship game inning by inning if we got a little extra time here. 3 minutes. Thank you to the committee and Chair Scott Smith for just an unbelievable honor, and I'm extremely humbled to join this group. Playing at Eastern, it gave me 3 things. First and foremost, I met my beautiful wife Christy here. and our kids, Lauren, Andrew, and Justin, who are here tonight, and just great to have them here and be part of this. Secondly, I was able to play with my brother for one season. And when you play at this level and play in a program like this and have the ability to play together for one season, we made a ton of memories, and it's something that I'll always cherish. So I'm grateful to Eastern for helping that come true. And then finally, I got to play for the greatest coach in college baseball. And Coach, Coach was an unbelievable teacher. He was an unbelievable leader. He was an unbelievable mentor. And I have never seen anyone just so tireless. I mean, he's just such a tireless worker and so competitive. And, he cared about us as much off the field as he did on the field. And, you look at a guy that's, 1,500 wins and 4 national championships and numerous regional championships. And, my parents sent me here with the trust that Coach was going to do the right thing. And then 4 years later, they sent my brother here with that same thing. And, Coach, you've won a ton of big games. You've got more accolades than you need, but I said this to you one time before, earning the trust of my parents to send 2 of their kids to you to do the right thing and show us the way is bigger than any win that you'll ever get on the field. So I thank you, Coach. Man, I look around out here and the swell of people that came out, it's unbelievable. My best friends, family that came out here tonight, I am truly grateful that you came out and spent some time with me and were here to support me. I probably will never be able to thank you enough, but a huge turnout, and it's a great feeling. And finally, my parents who flew in from Florida. My mom who was always, very supportive and never missed a game. And although she was at a game, I don't think she ever saw either one of us ever throw a pitch or pitch an inning because her head was normally in her lap. So, but she was there, and we're always grateful for that. And then my dad who never gave us an excuse, never told us we were good enough, always demanded us be better. I was on his hip since the day I can remember, and the countless number of hours at the field, in our backyard. I stand here today accepting the greatest individual honor a university can give an athlete. And I look at this plaque and this ring, Dad, and I share this with you because we made it, buddy. I appreciate it. I love you guys. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Congratulations to all the other members of this class. Thanks again. Have a good night.
Edwin E. Ortiz made his presence felt from the get-go, becoming the program's first Little East Conference Rookie of the Year and helping turn the tide for the men's basketball program over his 4-year career. As only a freshman, Edwin set personal career highs in scoring and three-point percentage as the Warriors won 15 and lost 11 and won half of their conference games for the first time in 3 seasons. According to his head coach, Bill Geithner, quote, Edwin had an impact on every game he played, end quote. Edwin was a 2-time All-Little East Conference selection who sparked a program resurgence that resulted in the first 20-win season in nearly 2 decades and first postseason appearance in 10 years, both coming during Edwin's senior season. Edwin appeared in all possible 108 games in his career and graduated as the program's 4th all-time leading scorer with 1,438 points and as the program's all-time leader in 4 categories, among them three-pointers and three-point percentage, and as the season record holder in 3 categories, including three-pointers.
It is my pleasure to be speaking on behalf of Edwin Ortiz. I strongly believed Edwin was going to be a great Division III player the first time I watched him play this summer going into his senior year at East Catholic High School. I still vividly remember watching Edwin and the East Catholic team make a remarkable run through the state tournament. After every game, it became second nature to stand and wait to say hello and congratulate Edwin. This waiting seemed to go on forever, as Edwin always had to hug and high-five his family, girlfriend, and what seemed like everyone else in the gym. This was another reason I wanted Edwin to be part of our program. He was well-liked by everyone and had a quiet leadership quality about him. I must say, however, that during the recruiting process, Coach Riley and Edwin failed to inform me about his superstitious pregame meal routine. It wasn't until our first road game that I learned about this. The night prior to our first game, we were taking the players' orders for subs, as we usually had our pregame meals at D'Angelo's. At that point, Edwin pulls me aside and says, "Coach, I only eat Subway before games." Needless to say, over the next 3.5 years, my assistant coaches spent their time running around Gorham, Plymouth, and the rest of the towns in the Little East looking for a Subway sandwich shop for Edwin. Edwin was a scorer, shooter. From the first day he stepped on campus to the last game he played, Edwin could shoot and score. Edwin immediately became a starter his freshman year and helped lead us to a 15-win season after we had only won 9 games the previous year. As a freshman, he was named the Little East Conference Rookie of the Year. A career 40% three-point shooter, Edwin had an impact on every game he played. Edwin continued to shine as our starting two-guard his sophomore and junior seasons. During his senior season, we asked Edwin to change positions for the good of the team. Edwin willingly moved to the point guard position, where he continued to have a major impact on the game. This willingness to do whatever was needed for the good of the team defined Edwin. His senior season, Edwin led us to a 20-win season and into the ECAC championship game. He had successfully left his imprint on the program and positioned the program to take the next step. The following year, after we won the Little East Tournament Championship, Edwin was one of the first people to find me and give me a congratulatory embrace. This act once again demonstrated the true essence of Edwin, a team player and program type of guy.
Coach Geithner made him feel like it was a family already, and that's what he was looking at. He was looking more for of a walking into a family type of environment, not of a, okay, you're here, let's just, move you to the side. But Geithner made him feel, come on, Edwin, you're part of the team, you're a family here now, you're a warrior. We're gonna make this like we felt at East Catholic, and that's how he felt when he walked in with Geithner.
I've known Edwin a long time, and he's a really good person. That's it translates to the court. He's a really good teammate. Off the court, he's a really good person. That's why we got along so well.
I always made sure his teammates around him were involved in the offense, defense, in the huddles, kept talking on defense, talking on offense, boxing out, doing what he had to do. He was like another coach on the court.
In sync would be a good way to put our relationship on the court. In high school and college, a lot of plays, a lot of, offense, defense kind of stuff, and we always kind of knew where each other would be. A lot of trust. I'd say trust is a big thing with the two of us on the floor. I would know what he would want to do, and he would know how I would react, and more times than not, good outcomes would come from it. He wasn't selfish, so, the two of us, we had a like mind. It was we just want to do whatever we need to do to win, whether that's, I rotate over and help him on defense and set him a screen, he gets a good shot, or the other way around. Like, it didn't really matter. It was just, whatever we had to do for the success of the team.
I don't think he expected to have an impact on the program the way he did when he came here.
He's mobile. He can move without the ball. He can shoot off the dribble. But the biggest thing was he would, we wanted him to get a lot of shots, but if he wasn't open, he was good enough to put the ball down on the floor and find an open guy.
From being a 3-year shooting guard to being a point guard senior year was a little bit of a transition, but you know what? Like I said, his work ethic, he worked on the handles, worked on how becoming a better point guard, how to run an offense. He'd always ask questions to Coach Geithner. Hey, let's go outside. Let's go get some cones. I gotta learn how to dribble. Hey, listen, make me work on my left. Make me work on my right. Which way do I need to go? Just pushing me just make me a better point guard.
His concern was the overall success of the team. His personal success, I'm sure, like everybody else, he wanted to do well. You know, it's always nice to see that you scored 25 points, but he would be perfectly fine if he scored 5 points and the team won.
Edwin's first love was actually baseball. Played second base and shortstop, and growing up, everyone knew him as a second baseman, shortstop, one of the best. Then in middle school, basketball just came out of the blue.
Edwin as a baseball player is one of the biggest myths I've had to deal with in the 15, 16 years I've known him, because he claims to have been a better baseball player than basketball player, but I've never seen him play baseball. I'm not sure why, because he had plenty of opportunities in high school to play, but he would just say he's the best second baseman ever, but never played. So I don't know.
For being in the ECAC tournament for the first time in the Eastern program, he made it seem like that was his NCAA tournament. I got to put the program out there, and even for the year he graduated, when they made the tournament, he was here to celebrate with the team, celebrate with Geithner. Even some of his old teammates, they even told him, hey, Edwin, if it wasn't for you, your senior year, we wouldn't be here. He was proud of that team that went to the NCAA tournament the year after. He followed him through the whole tournament run. He was excited. He felt like a big brother to the whole team the next year after.
And I think the way he was brought up translated to how he played, you know, not being selfish and doing things for others, and all the stuff that you look for in a really good teammate and someone who's making the Hall of Fame.
At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present for induction into the E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame, Edwin E. Ortiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Edwin E. Ortiz, presented by Bill Geithner, former coach.
First off, I want to say, Bill, it's no myth. Best second baseman you ever met in your life. No, but first I want to say I'm truly honored to be inducted tonight into this Eastern Hall of Fame. Thank you guys very much, the E-Club, the committee, for even giving me this honor here, which started my freshman year. Shortly after my freshman year, I didn't think I would get to this point. As I found out somewhat toward the end of my freshman year, I was going to have a baby girl. So with that being said, I've thought to myself, well, school, having to raise my little baby and play basketball, something that had to go. Can't do all three. It's going to be very tough because I wanted to be there every day for my baby. And this is where I want to thank my parents. Without them, I swear to you now, I would not be standing here. I did tell, yes, please. At this point, I literally told my mom, I said, Mom, honestly, basketball might not be an option to here. I got to do what I got to do as a man, to be here for my daughter. And my mom looked at me with this look like, boy, you better finish. Like, you worked too hard to get here. And they truly, to this day, stepped up for me for those last 3 years. And they helped me through everything. When I needed to be here and made the dedication to be part of this team, they stepped up to the plate for myself. And I'm truly grateful for that. And when those 3 years, they brought my little baby come up here. Every home game she was here to watch me play. She may not remember it now, but here, honey, your dad was pretty good. He was not bad. It wasn't bad. Also, I want to thank Coach Geithner for recruiting me, for bringing me here to Eastern, for believing in me, first and foremost. That right there in itself meant a lot to me. I came in here, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what was I getting myself into. Not gonna lie, I was lost early on. I'm not much of a defensive player, so trying to find out weak side, middle side help. But that's why I had Bill, who always had my help side. I just knew he was there, so this communication's always been here. Bill, I know he was gonna always have my back. So I thank you. I truly do thank you, Bill, Mr. Coach Geithner. And also I want to thank a few of my teammates here. Bill Revito, again, I've mentioned him a few times. He's been my teammate since high school, freshman year in high school, all the way through my last game here in college. One of the great minds of basketball, I tell you. I knew everywhere he was going to be. He knew where I was going to be. We had this competitive nature, but we knew where each other was going to be at every time on the court. Every time I missed, he would rebound, kick it back out to me, and I got the point, so I thank you that for Bill. So I thank you for that. Also, my man, Jared Willis, another man here, who I tell you was my biggest rival. Biggest rival. I truly did not like this man. We got to Eastern, we saw each other in the hallway. I said, you cannot be on my team. There's no way. There cannot be a way. But he did become my teammate, and we truly is my best friend now to this day. And his competitive nature every day pushed me to become the best player I can, because honestly, he didn't care. He was gonna come for me every day, and he even embarrassed me if he could. And you know what? I greatly appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Without that, probably would not be here either. But again, just to end the night, I truly am grateful. I am thankful for being here. I want to thank my family. I want to thank everybody for all you guys for coming out tonight, and truly humbled and honored. Thank you.
Hi there. As you can see on your program, thankfully I'm here to close tonight's event. And I'd like to close by first stating what a great and inspiring event tonight's Hall of Fame was, and they always are. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee, especially our chair, the famous Scott Smith, and our heart, the infamous Bob Multa. I think everyone in this room knows, but they work incredibly hard to make this night happen and make it special for all the inductees. On behalf of the committee, we'd also like to thank Megan Carden from Institutional Advancement. She was invaluable in handling the details and making everything look great tonight. The Eastern Sports Information Office would like to thank Lisa Hoteling from Media Services for contributing countless hours arranging, filming, producing, and editing the Hall of Fame videos that you saw tonight. Special thanks to the presenters and interviewees who volunteered their time and expertise, all of whom traveled to the Eastern Television Studio in the creation of these videos. Special thanks to the Director of Media Services, Nick Messina. We have a special present tonight for our Mistress of Ceremonies, Bonnie Edmondson. I'd like to thank her for everything she does for us all the time. Not just tonight, but all the time. We can call on Bonnie, and she's always there for us. Bonnie. I'd also like to say a final congratulations to all of tonight's inductees. Please stand. We're so very proud of you. I'd like to invite everyone to stay for the buffet dinner. The food is in the room across the hallway, so feel free to help yourselves. While you're waiting, we're going to be showing slides from the previous 24 induction ceremonies. These were compiled by Bullet and the Sports Information student workers. Enjoy the memories and the rest of your evening. Have fun. Thank you.